Alrighty then. Okay, let's start up this bad boy. Okay, that's it. That's the big start. Now, if you want to turn heads, okay, and you want everybody looking at you, you get yourself a BMW XM. Holy moly. I've had some cars where it's turned some heads, and probably of late, actually, I've spoken about it. This is on another level. It's made me so uncomfortable, so much so that I actually dinged it. Don't worry, BMW's aware. I made them aware the minute it happened. But I think I've just gotten into my head about this. I'm like, oh my God, everyone's looking at me and it's so ostentatious, it's so big and so like in your face. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what do people think of me? So clearly not the target market. But those who want the world to look at them and be like, oh my goodness, look at you, look how much money you have. This is the car for you. It is a car that has been built from the ground up, right? It is the first completely bespoke M car since the M1, which was like the late 70s. So it's decades ago that we've seen something like this. But this is also a 3.4 million rand, 2.8 ton M hybrid SUV. It sounds insane, right? It is a bit, actually. But who cares? I don't think the buyer's going to care what anybody would think about them, clearly. You've just got to have that kind of thick skin that I just clearly do not have. But I think the design is really pretty incredible. A lot of people, there's like a love and a hate for it because it is so in your face. But I quite love it, and I also quite love that like no one really knows what it is. Probably not great for BM, but so many people have stopped me. I had a guy follow me the other day from, so if you know Cape Town at all, from Hart Bay all the way to Camps Bay. I went to the shops and he parked next to me. I thought I was being followed like for other reasons. Then I realized what I was driving. I was like, no. He wanted to know what it was. He'd followed us and just couldn't work out that it was a BMW, which it is, okay? Obs. See now, I'm doing this filming and people are looking at me. So now the interesting thing is, okay, so it's got a 4.4 litre V8 twin turbo under this bonnet, right? It's got 480 kilowatts of power, 800 Newton meters of torque. And this 2.8 ton beast will get to 100 kilometers per hour in just 4.3 seconds. So it's got a bit of oomph, but what makes it interesting is it's actually a plug-in hybrid. So it's got an electric motor in the mix as well, which means you can drive sort of pure electric mode for up to 90 kilometers. Now, that is when I've actually liked it the most, which is totally the wrong thing, right? Because what you should want is for this to be in like M mode. It needs to be in everything. I think for me what it is it's such a stark contrast between the electric mode to non-electric mode. And I have put all the settings onto comfort. I've turned the exhaust off. I do all of that just to see, do you know, if I was going to live with this every day, you know, would I want all the banging and blah, blah, blah vibes and stuff? You can't really do without it, okay? Hans Zimmer has been in here making sure that all the sounds are coming to you, hitting you all over. But for like startup and everything, I do like that there's an exhaust button here that I press all the time for my neighbors, that just tones it down somewhat. What is very cool is sort of how do I have a bug in here? Get it out of here. Mia. Oh no, man. All the customizable things, right? So this infotainment system is hugely comprehensive, okay? My suggestion, while the car is stationary, go through the million icons and just figure out exactly what is where and how you want it to be. Because obviously there's a bazillion settings in this car. What is great is once you've done that, once you've set everything up the way you like it, okay, this bug is pissing me off, is you've got these two buttons. You've got M1 and M2 on the steering wheel, which are pretty rad. And so if you are wanting everything in like craziest mode. Basically, like the meanest this car can be. Everything as responsive, as tuned. You can make sure that when you press M1 on the steering wheel, that's what happens. And then your M2, you could have it maybe as crazy, but not just a little smidge, not so crazy. You can do what you want. But that is pretty cool because you're just like, whoop, whoop, and you're off, and off you go. One thing that is very interesting is fuel consumption. So here's the thing. I think if you're spending this much money, you're probably not too phased by the fuel consumption. BMW will have you believe that it's really low and all that jazz, but it is not, people. It is very, very high. If you want more speed, so as in 550 kilowatts of power and 1,000 Newton meters of torque, then what you do is you wait for the limited red label. That's label, red label? Label red. I actually know, like Churro has made mention of this because he called it a red label. That's the beer, right? Or the drink. It's not that, it's the opposite of that, okay? So label red, maybe that's what it is. That's like the crazier version of this. From like a practical point of view and everything, I love the space in here. In fact, my favorite place to be is in the back. I love sitting in that rear. It's got it's like an M lounge drawer they've got going on there. There's pillows if you want to have a little nap, but it's the most comfortable. Like the seats are more comfortable in the rear, I think, than they are in the front. The legroom is insane. Luca's super comfy in his car seat in the back there. And then you've got this ceiling, which is just beautiful. It's really something to behold. When you get in, it lights up in like the M colors and like whatever. I took a little video of it to show you. And then you can, on here, you can change the lighting like throughout, like an array of colors. It keeps Lucas so entertained. He's like, I want green, and I put green on. Like, I want blue, and I put blue on. Do you know? I mean, that's why someone buys this car, right? To keep their 3-year-old entertained, obviously. Silly. But the boot is really big. It's like 527 liters or something. So more than enough space for everything. And then you've got, for the charging, you know, because it's a plug-in hybrid and all, there's cables in a bag that I think I would chuck the cables out, keep the bag. Really nice. Oh, shit balls. Okay, but overall, I think the luxury in here is just outrageous and beautiful. I love the color of these seats. I hate the brown, okay? I'm not a brown fan. I'm not a brown fan in cars, especially. But I have seen the very red interior. I think there's a test car in Joburg that has the red interior. A little too much for me, but again, this car is that. It's all opulent and crazy, and you should go with all the outrageousness. Outrage. Yeah. Guys, we've just had the most intense storm in Cape Town that we've had in, I can't remember when, maybe ever, just about. So I'm driving along with all the rock falls and all the mudslides, and all the waterfalls that have come across the road. Devastation all around. And here I'm driving in a 3.4 million rand car, and you think of all the people that, you can't do that. You can't actually go there, because if you go to that side, you cannot return. Here's the thing. If you love big, bold, in your face, make a statement kind of cars, this is it. This is it. There's very few that can top it. Let me tell you.